Welcome back. You're watching Rise and Shine, courtesy of Richie T. It's a sporty edition of Rise and Shine. It's Sunday morning, and certainly we're going to speak about sports, more about sports on a Sunday. And we have with us two important people in the studio, Lieutenant Colonel Nalin Peries, who is... I'm sorry?
Nalin Peries.
Nalin Peries, I'm sorry about that, Secretary Army Cycling Committee. And we have also got with us Lakshman Vijayaratna in the studio. A very good morning to you.
Good morning to you, both of you.
Colonel, starting off, cycling is not a sport that is very popular here in Sri Lanka. And it's actually the forces who are actually doing a pretty good job in that aspect when it comes to the sport of cycling. What do you think cycling, apart from the forces, if you look at cycling itself now, Lakshman is one of the national champions right now, and he competed in the Commonwealth and Asian Games in 2010, as you mentioned a while ago. Looking back at cycling and its future, what do you think?
First of all, I must thank to Channel I and y'all, and to the Command of the Army, and the President and the Cycling Committee, the Brigadier Mayadun, and the Director Sports. If you are going through the cycling is one of the famous events in Sri Lanka, because if you get the festival season and for the other competitions also, I believe cycling is the famous. But once it is come to the racing events, not the standard events, the racing events, it's economically that you have to the face for to purchase the equipments. But the backing with the Army, the Director Sports and the Army, the Cycling Committee Chairman, so we have a lot of the facilities. They come into the civil clubs, it's the less.
That is the issue, yeah, probably with the expensive cycling material and
correct,
stuff that you need to purchase at that level. And fortunately for the three forces, I think they have the advantage of having the backing of the government. And as you mentioned, you've been in the committee for about a good 20 years now, and an experienced campaigner like you being there probably helps the partner athletes also.
Very correct, that being for so long with cycling for almost the 20 years with the team, so having that experience, it's gives some the lot of the benefit for these my young riders. So it's a challenge. The cycling, if you get, you have a lot of the events the covering with the cycling, but coming to the road cycling, it's a separate discipline. So you think that except for the individual time trial, the events, so other all events, it's compete with team efforts. It's a combined team. So we have to select the team, how, then first that once it is come to reading through the technical guide, so we will consider about what sort of the areas that you have to cover, the road conditions, the weather and all. So after that we consider about how we are going to put these our riders as a team. So we have to consider about the sprint riders, and then those who are capable with flat forming riders, and then those who are good in hill climbing. So totally it's a team effort.
Right.
The rider who's going to win, he may be going through the whole process, but the rider who's going to win, that he is coming with the other 6 or the 8 or the 10 with our team. So to come to the end and to get the chance to win, so other 11 or the 17 riders helping to him.
That's very true.
It's a combined, totally combined effort.
And Colonel, being the Secretary of Army Cycling Committee, what is your responsibility like when planning a cycling event?
Yes. Now, normally the national body is there, so they direct us for the events. So from the Army headquarters, so it has I have nominated for as a Secretary as a Cycling Committee. What will happen is all the letters and the technical guide comes. So I will go through all the documents and I will read and I will take for the once it is come to the competitions level. So I will call all these my riders, and then I have to explain whatever the particular things, and there are certain things that in the technical guide also you have to consider how the point system is going on, where the sprints, intermediate sprints, and the hill climbing points, and the final sprints, distance and all. Coming to the other sides with the as a secretary, so I have to docket all the documents, what are the particulars, how these the riders performing, and those the history, the value details. It's with us for so long, the 20 or the 30. Now if we get our past riders in 1970s, 80s, so 60s, if you get Anthony Simmons, Dhul Lever, like the army, the former riders. Now if once it is come to Lakshman now he's the team captain. So within another 5 years to 6 years time, I may not there, he may not there, but the army, the cycling committee has to run. So therefore we have to keep all the documents by recording what are the papers in black and white to see the past performance and how we are going to challenge in the future. That is the task.
Right.
Something interesting too as well, Sherry,
Exactly.
because basically planning out every event seems like a whole new job every now and then.
And certainly we are in conversation with Lieutenant Colonel Nalin Peries, and we have
Nalin Peries.
Nalin Peries, I guess this is written wrong over here. Anyways, we have Lakshman Vijayaratna with us as well, and we're speaking about cycling and what the future holds for us in this arena of sports in the cycling mode. And I guess we'll be back with more conversation right after a short break. And we were kind of having a small discussion, and we were speaking about cycling all the way, and we spoke about how as a secretary his role is in organizing an event, and about keeping records of the documents of the players as well, the riders as well. So how do you select your riders, Colonel?
That is one of the most important factors. That's what I told you earlier. Now once it is come to a particular event, while considering the factors, whatever the things, the event may be for maybe one day or maybe be a stage event. So what will happen if it is a one-day event? So we will consider about the distance and the road, and how is it a hill country event or either flat and the hill country, the together. So then if you are selecting a team, so at least you need two the good hill climbers, and you need the two sprinters at least, and those who are good for the flat, the road, and who can the compete with the teams, because everybody wants to win.
Very true.
Right? So it's really like a competitive battle. So what will happen, the entire, once the event start, behind the event there's another battle is going on. So we are reading the event. So we used to call these the supporters, and used to say, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this, and then only that the final man will come to the end with it's a very interest, because now if you get the other events like the athletic or the volleyball, basketball, those are very good events, disciplines, and the cycling, so starting from one place and it is going for almost 100 to 200 kilometers, so everybody can watch. And so planning with the base on the event, how the national body, when the technical guide comes, so what are the points that they plan to provide for the particular competition, and the sprints where they are going to have these sprints, the points, and the final sprint is the end, and the distance, and how much, how many the kilometers that you have to cover during the hill climbing, and how many kilometers that in the base on the flat road, and those conditions that you have to think. Then only that we read, and we will get the time plan, and certain places that you have to change the tactics, and that is how it's very interesting.
It's a totally new thing, because it's not something that you could actually plan out and leave it for the game to be done and dusted. But then you got to be there,
yes.
keep monitoring the other teams
Very
also
correct,
and
very
other
correct,
competitors
very
also.
correct.
Lakshman, ඔයාගෙන් ඇහුවොත් දැන් ඔයා කණ්ඩායමේ නායකයා හැටියට මේ ඔයාගෙන් කණ්ඩායමට කෙරෙන්නේ මොන වගේ සේවයක්ද?
මම ඉස්සතන් දෙන යුද හමුදාවතුමාට ඒ වගේම මගේ යුද හමුදා කණ්ඩායමේ හොඳ කීරකින් ඉන්නවා. ඉතින් මේ කීරකින් අපි හොඳට පුහුණුවීම් කටයුතු කරලා අපේ සර්ලා අපේ ඉදිරි තියෙන තරඟ වලට අපි හොඳට පුහුණුවීම් කරලා ජයග්‍රහණයට
දැන් ලක්ෂමන් මම ඔයාගෙන් ඇහුවොත් දැන් ඔයා කණ්ඩායමේ නායක හැටියට දැන් ඔයා ස්පෙෂලායිස් කරන්නේ ස්ප්‍රින්ටින්ග්ද නැත්නම් එහෙම නැත්නම් හිල් ක්ලයිම්බින්ග්ද එහෙම නැත්නම් ඉන්ඩියුරන්ස් මේ රේස් එක ෆිනිෂ් කරන්නද?
මේ ස්ප්‍රින්ට් වලට අපි වෙනම කට්ටියක් ඉන්නවා අපේ 4 දෙනෙක්. ඒ වගේම අපි ඒගොල්ලෝ අදිරි ස්ප්‍රින්ට් එකට අපි උපරිම මේගොල්ලෝ මුළු රේස් එකම අරන් යන අපි ස්ප්‍රින්ට් කරන්නේ අපි කීරෙන් 4 දෙනා.
දැන් අපිට කර්නල් කිව්ව විදිහට ඔයා ඒෂියන් චැම්පියන්ෂිප්ස් උයි කොමන්වෙල්ත් උයි දෙකෙම පාටිසිපේට් කරා. ඒ අමතරව ඔයා පාටිසිපේට් කළ ජයග්‍රහණය කරපු ඉවෙන්ට්ස් මොනවද තියෙන්නේ?
මම ජයග්‍රහණ ලංකාවේදී යූත් පාපයි සවාරිය top 70 Kings Park ගුවන් සවාරිය ජයග්‍රහණ රැසක් කළා තියෙනවා.
All right, Colonel, going back to, as he mentioned, he mentioned that it's all about planning out, and being captain is probably a tough task because you have separate segments, as you also correctly mentioned, sprinters who will probably take the other team along with them, and that's how it's not about one person, it's about the team who actually work for one to actually win, because the sprinters will at time and from time to time try and speed up the race and then leave it for another team member to actually win. The sprinters will not probably finish the race to win. It's actually the endurance person who out of the team will actually want to finish the race, because sprinters are not good hill climbers.
Correct. Though that the sprinters are not good for the hill climbers, when you are selecting for a team, so now if you get the Lakshman, he's good for the hill climbing as well as the flat road, and there are athletes who are good for the 3 combined things, like the flat, the hill climbing and the sprint. And we select and we mark these the riders out of even within the team, so they are the key figures. So what will happen coming to the hill climbing point, so we as a team that we need to compete and to get some or the other to obtain the points for our party. So what will happen then, we select some sort of the tactical systems, then only that adapting and going. By going to the road events, road discipline, the cycling, there are individual time trial events and the team time trial events and one-day events, plus then stage races. So it is going for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, such as. But coming to our country, we may have only 1 to 3 day races, 3 to 4, and because it's that you need more economical backing to have the competitions. So in that, I like to say, some riders, they willing to win intermediate sprints. Some of them they like to win the hill climbing points, and some of them they like to win the stages, and within that one rider or the 2 or the 3 may compare to win the overall race. So like that. So by looking from the outside, so it you may not the scene how what is going within the inside the competition. So but coming to the final competition arena, it's another
totally different tactics.
Right, and Dishan, we've been talking about cycling, but we'll be talking more about it with Colonel, and before that we have a short break. watching Rise and Shine. We are in conversation with the Secretary of Army Cycling Committee, Lieutenant Colonel Nalin Peries, and we've also got Lakshman Vijayaratne in the studio. And we've been talking about Lakshman's achievements as well, Ishan. I guess you've got more to be asked from Lakshman.
Very true, and more than anything, Sharika's being captain of the team and being an endurance rider, it's so much to look forward to in an event, as we've been talking to Colonel also with regard to what really goes on when plans are made. Lakshman Nagin හවොත් දැන් තරංගයකට සූදානම් වෙද්දී දැන් කර්නල් කිව්වා වගේ එක එක ස්ටේජ් එකට ඒගොල්ලෝ විවිධ ක්‍රීඩකයන්ව යොදා ගන්න දැන් වත් කිව්වා ස්ප්‍රින්ටර්ස් ලයික් තරා ස්ටේජ් එකකට යොදා ගන්නවා වගේ ඔයා ඒ දේවල් වලට කණ්ඩායම් නායකයා හැටියට ක්‍රීඩකයන්ට මොන වගේ දේවල්ද දෙන්නේ උපදෙස් හැටියට?
කියන්නේ අපි කන්තරණයක තියනවා නම් ඒකට අපි කන්තරණය දෙන කිරීන් අපි දානවා කීප දිනක්. ඒ වගේම කඳුයි පැටවි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් දෙකම තියනවා නම් ඒකට සමානව තමයි අපි ඒකට මේ කිරකින් කණ්ඩායමට දාගන්නේ.
සාමාන්‍යයෙන් තරගයක් කිව්වොත් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කී දිනක් ගෙනියන්න පුළුවන්ද එක තරගයකට?
එක තරගයකට කිරකින් 18 දිනක් දාන්න පුළුවන්.
උපරිම. අවමයක් වශයෙන් ගත්තොත්?
අවමයක් වශයෙන් 12ක් 18ක් තමයි උපරිම
12 හෝ 18 අතර ක්‍රීඩක සංඛ්‍යාව සිටිනවා. එතකොට ඒ අතර ඕගොල්ලෝ කණ්ඩායම තෝරද්දී yes, Colonel, if you may.
Yes.
Yeah, but coming back for this, if you get a team, so in Sri Lanka, so we will give the chance for the 6 riders to compete as a team. So they can at least the 4 riders has to be there with as a team. If not, now comparatively, if you get the services, so we have the more riders. So therefore, that the national body has given to compete for at least the 3.
All right. So as Lakshman mentioned, yeah, the actual requirement is to have 12 or up to 18 members. But since the Sri Lankan particular events do not give opportunity for so many cyclists to actually participate, the team events have been actually reduced to even 4 per team, so giving opportunities to private clubs stuff like that.
That is the rule. That is the rule. That is in black and white. Yes, it is in black and white in the rule book. So we have to once the technical guide comes, so how many the riders compete as a team. So it is in mentioned in the technical the guide.
It is in the guidelines.
So we used to compete as a 3 teams. So we have altogether 8 teams. So the other services are same. So once it is come to the normal the clubs, so they have only the 6 or the 10 or the 12 riders. So what will happen? So they may have only the 2. So altogether, if we get the whole the racing riders, so in the countries to compete for an event, so it may be 100 or 120.
Not more than that.
Not more than that. So coming to the countries, it's much more.
Is it advantageous, Colonel, having a large group in your team?
No, sometimes the way how the club, the in charge or the coach or the man who's behind them, who's reading the whole the event. So normally what will happen, if it is a stage race, so we will, after the stage, so we will used to come and discuss in the evening. So what is our next step and how we are going to fight tomorrow, how we are going to compete. So then only that we feed them, we give the guiding, so that this is how that you have to do. Then only that the chance and the opportunity is coming to our side. Otherwise, Lakshman is there as a team captain, and Mimanage, he's staying as the coordinator. So they all are national riders. So it's a very good advantage.
It's more than the cyclist itself. It's the coordinators, the ones who are actually reading the game outside the event itself.
Very correct. And for the next day, that you have to have the strategical plan, and that you have to implement the previous day, the evening. Then only that they will go and compete as according to what we say. Otherwise, so they will not. They will start doing certain other things. So if they do, so after the event, while reading the event from the behind of the event, so the competition, we will again coming to the end, and in the evening, so we will sit and discuss. So we have done this, and why we lose, and how we win, And then again, okay, we'll go for this. Okay, we'll try to win the hill climbing champion, the jersey. Okay, we'll try to win the sprint, the most sprinter, and the junior rider, the jersey, like that. So the last year only from I started to say and implement from the 2011-2012. So we don't have the junior rider jersey, the white jersey. So the other, once it is come to the stage races in the Europe and the other countries, so they have.
They do.
So I told them, okay, we'll start this. So the junior rider also will get highlight, and he will get a chance.
It's a motivation
and yes,
for them.
the motivation factor, and now the junior jersey is giving for this the junior riders.
And Colonel, what do you think about the standards in Sri Lanka compared to international cycling?
Yeah, the man on a machine is the cyclist. So he may be the good, the rider may be the strength and full, but you have to have a good the equipment also. So coming to, we have to think on how we are developing countries, so we have the facilities comparatively going to the like Tour de France and like that. But here we have certain advantages. So the country is a tropical country, so we have the climbing and all. But coming to equipment level, if you start at the Europe arena and the American arena, so that equipment is almost 1 million like that bike. So we also have, so the army is giving a lot of full support. So therefore we have a lot of the facilities in that. So we have the chance.
We have the
to
chance.
win, yes.
And Colonel, what about before an event? What about the health conditions of the riders? Do you all have a pre-check of it?
Thanks that you mentioned it. So normally the our club, we have the army medical team, so therefore they can go and check, do everything. And you need a mechanic for the particular the club. You need a physiotherapy, the mashua and the physio. So we have a mechanic.
Look after the bikes.
Look after bikes and to repair and do after the event. So his role is to check the bike and to keep the bike in the 100% in good conditions for the next day.
Right.
The mashua, I have 2 mashuas, the therapy, the guys. So the 2 soldiers, we have trained from the sport ministry.
Ministry itself, all right.
And when Dr. Gitanjali was there, so they are with me, and that their role is after the competition, so they will do the massage and
keep the athletes
fit and going for the next day. And the coach, he will think on the conditions, how they are. Some of them, they used to come and say, here my this paining and that paining and all this that. So while keeping the motivation, so we used to feed them and going on.
That's how it goes.
Yes, and you need a coach, assistant coach, then again the manager, assistant manager, secretary, like that.
So many.
There may be only 1 or 2 the athletes behind. There's a huge group.
A lot of people in the back working to kind of pump the riders. And Colonel, how often do you have cycling events as such?
Yeah, but if you get the national calendar in our country, so we may have only around 8 to 10. Otherwise, there are promotional events in Sri Lanka. So to have a lot of competitions, you need more economical
funds.
Support, that's very sure. And if I may ask, Colonel, in an event of, say, at a particular event, a rider gets injured, then what happens to the team? Could he be replaced with another? Or?
No. It's in the rule. So for an example, if I say, if a rider get injured within the 3 kilometers arena, the final 3 kilometers, so he will get the chance to compete in the next date, and he will get the timings who are in the same bunch within the last 3 kilometers.
Right.
But if a rider get injured or fallen down and fell down from before the 3 kilometers, what will happen that they will not get a chance if we did not complete the course, entire the distance.
There's a particular distance they should complete.
Apart from that, when a competition going to be start, so what will happen? So insurance, it's a must. So all riders and yes, the coach and everybody insured by the.
So looking at the whole thing, Colonel, say you said 6 riders in a team or so.
Yeah.
So if one particular cyclist gets injured in a particular stage event, even if he doesn't, as you mentioned, if it is not in the last 3 kilometers, okay, he is not gonna compete the event. But is he given an opportunity to participate in the next stage to support the team, or is he thrown out of the competition?
Basically, what will happen that if a rider get injured, that we will not touch him, so he has to rest.
He has to rest,
so,
trainer.
He's an asset to us. So therefore, we used to keep him separately, either that we will send back him to the camp or to the nearest the hospital, and to keep him, and we will guide and we will keep at least 2 the soldiers with them. Otherwise, if it is a stage races now, it has happened to Lakshman Wijayaratne during koi kaleda වැටුනේ මොන race එකේද?
ගුවන් සවාරිය.
During the Air Force race in 2010, he just at Naval, in the second stage or the third stage, he fell down, and I was there and I was behind, and I came from back again from Dambulla, and I picked him and I went back, and so I treated for him, and then I kept, and then again I started to go behind the race.
So that is something interesting with regard to what really happens in cycling.
So not only the Lakshman, if junior the cyclist is an asset, so for selecting the 18 riders for the 3 teams, so it's another competition or battle within the club, since that having the more riders and all.
And Colonel, as a final, any competitions coming up very recently?
You know, we are planned to the pool for the SARC games. So therefore, the next month, so on the 10th or the 11th, that we are planning to have an individual time trial. So that the time trial is purely based on their spirit, their individual effort. So they have to think on the wind effect and whatever the particular the subjects that the places, arenas that we are there to cover. So therefore, within that and their past performance, so the national body will select for the SARC pool. So the next the event is there will be the individual time trial for August to select the riders. That is the first time trial to select the riders for the next half game. So within that, so they will come again to have another time trial. So they will deduct the riders and come to at least
the national team that we're going to select.
To scrutinize and to get
the best.
more spirit the people.
Interesting.
We had a very interesting discussion on cycling, and with that we'll have to thank Lieutenant Colonel Nalin Peries for being with us, together with Lakshman Wijayaratne. Thank you very much for being a part of Rise and Shine. It was an honor having you here.
Thank you very much that you are calling for us, for the Channel I and the whole staff, and I must thank again to my Commander of the Army, and to my Director of Sports and the Chairman Army Cycling Committee, the Brigadier Mayaduni.
Thank you very much. And with that, it's time to wrap up Sunday's edition of Rise and Shine. Bye.